This should be fun. So, today we'll be talking about Destiny. More accurately, we'll be talking about how the game is in a bit of trouble lately and what that could mean for the game. Now, as anybody who's paid attention to Destiny will know, the game has had a rather sordid history concerning making its players happy. Upon release, the game had nothing to offer besides its admittedly solid gameplay, which was not exactly what people expected from a game with a $500 million marketing budget. In fact, many would argue that it was only this year, once the Taken King expansion was released in September, that the game actually became truly worth paying for and playing. This ruffled many feathers, especially those of veteran players who, by the point the Taken King had come out, had spent well over $100 keeping up with the game's DLC. From a lackluster story to bullshit microtransactions to horrible customer service to nonsensical lag to Bungie actually lying to players about what they released in patches, and most recently putting skill-based matchmaking in Destiny after they had said they would not do just that, Destiny has seemed almost like Activision seeing how much they could make people hate a formerly beloved game developer. But is the game bad? Well, no, it's not. Destiny is in no way a horrible game. It's simply very average. It relies on the same addictive loot treadmill that so many games with a little else to offer, such as Warframe, in which the grind is the game, stand upon. And yet nobody can deny its success. The game has sold millions upon millions of copies, and this year it was revealed that the average Destiny player plays the game for 3 hours a day, a retention rate that most games would die for. Although I would speculate a decent amount of this is because the game is the only game on the PS4 that has any real staying power, therefore contributing to its time played, because hell, people want some excuse to use that expensive block of plastic in their living room. Destiny has certainly seen a large amount of success, and people aren't wrong for enjoying the game. Even though the business and development practices behind Destiny have been awful, you won't see anybody saying that the core gameplay isn't refined, precise, and extremely well crafted. And if it seems like I'm trying to stay on the good side of Destiny players, well, you might be right, because I'm a wimp, and they're insane. And also, comments on the internet just, they really get to me, man. That's why I'm putting YouTube But lately, Destiny has been doing, well, a whole lot of nothing, really. In fact, since the launch of the Taken King in September, the game has received really no meaningful new content. And obviously, since the endgame of Destiny revolves mostly around things you do in groups and is entirely progression-based, this has the community in a bit of a tizzy, with the forums and subreddits dedicated to the game looking more like wells of concentrated hatred than sponsored and official community forums. And of course, with nothing left to do, many players have been leaving the game or finding themselves hard-pressed to justify their playtime. Why is this bad for Destiny though? Well, namely because Ubisoft is set to release what is obviously their own attempt to capture Destiny's success, Tom Clancy's The Division. When you add Destiny's recent lackluster performance to the multi-platform release of The Division, Ubisoft seems to be rather nicely poised to be a serious competitor to Activision, even though The Division overtaking Destiny seems pretty unlikely. I spoke about The Division and why people shouldn't expect it to be anything more than another Destiny in a recent video, and I still hold the same opinions now that I did then. The game certainly doesn't look like anything very special. However, I theorize that because of Destiny's recent failures, The Division will get a good bit more success than I originally thought it would, and maybe ultimately more than it even deserves. But enough of making inflammatory comments about a game that doesn't even exist. I thought this might be a nice opportunity to talk about what makes or breaks an MMO. And I think it boils down to one thing that a lot of people might consider wrong, or maybe not even consider an adequate answer to the question. In my opinion, it's all down to customer service. See, where Destiny has failed the most, and what has given the game the most bad publicity, has been how Bungie, undoubtedly at the behest of Activision, has handled the community's response to the game. Let's take the most recent examples of this, namely adding skill-based matchmaking into the game, and take a look-see. Skill-based matchmaking, or SBMM, is good on paper. It allows players of similar skills to play against each other while ensuring newbies don't get stomped on by opponents who are vastly more knowledgeable of the game and better geared. In practice, however, it always seems to be bad. Just take a look at any Call of Duty game that's added it in. It has always, and I mean always, been universally hated by everyone every time it's reared its ugly head in any game. In Destiny's case, the skill-based matchmaking is even worse because it prioritizes rank over location, meaning that the game would rather throw, say, a person who lives in Britain into a match with someone who lives in Australia, disregarding their horrible ping difference, than it would have the British player play against another lower-ranked Brit. Add this to the fact that the game has always, for some inexplicable reason, had horrid lag, and you'll see how the game's PvP has become unplayable for many people recently. As I mentioned earlier, this isn't the first time that Activision Bungie have made such a blunder, far from it, and it probably won't be the last. But good customer service is vital to any MMO's livelihood, and Destiny isn't the only example of this. World of Warcraft, which everybody knows is the world's largest MMO, has been losing players at the highest rate in its history as of late. Most players would attribute this to how the game, also published by Activision coincidentally enough, has grown apart from its fans, with more work seemingly put into microtransaction mounts than actual useful content. I would draw a parallel here to Destiny's recent microtransactions, but that would be too easy. Guess I did it anyways. Oops. So what is World of Warcraft doing to regain lost subscriptions? Well, long story short, the next expansion World of Warcraft is releasing is essentially every fanfiction and fan service thrown into one giant blob. And how did Destiny regain its popularity after its year one blunders? Well, they released The Taken King, an expansion that fixed the game's story as much as was possible and assisted the game's core gameplay issues. So far, these tactics have been very effective at getting the formerly disheartened fans of each game to take interest once again. Point being, besides both games having the same publisher, which no doubt says something about said publisher, namely that Activision sucks massive donkey dong, an MMO is only as good as its developer/publisher make it. And although that's an obvious statement because in the literal sense a game is only as good as the developer makes it, it's also true in a figurative sense, because if the developer and the publisher don't show care and love for the community that they rely on to make their game successful, then their game's not going to be a game soon. By keeping fans happy, a game survives, and it's because of Activision Bungie's callous disregard of the player base that I believe Destiny is slowly falling apart. If you've liked this video, feel free to sub. Or don't. Or you could call me a potato. Like I give a fuck. See ya!